How are you today?
Go over there to your comments and undock it and then redock it.
What?
Click on the two arrows on each of them.
So, make sure you comment to let us know when you're here. Hello, Evelyn. I'm happy to see you're here. I have some cool stuff to do tonight. Let me see. Okay, that's as far out as I can go. Okay. Hey. Look. Hi, Drea. Hi, Cece. Hi, Evelyn. Hello, everyone. So tonight we're going to work with the Malt Shop release. I asked Dale if he wanted to do the girl or the boy, and he said do the boy. So we are going to do the boy tonight. I don't know what sentiment we're going to use yet. Probably let the good times roll, or maybe we'll just do a birthday or something. But I found this die I have. Woo-wee! It is like amazing. Hey, Cece. This is the Juke Box mini album card from Scrappy Boy. This has a ton of dies with it, which is not typically something that I normally get all excited about. But I've already cut all of the pieces so that we can assemble, and I've used blue, red, and yellow, and black. So we're gonna try to keep him to match up nicely with our image. Let me fix the screen. I feel like I'm crooked. I don't like it when I'm crooked. Hello, Cheryl. Hello, Christina. Hello, everyone. Christina, do you have this die? I thought you did. So it has a lot of little pieces with it, and I decided to go ahead and cut them before we started because there were so many pieces. And then I tried to move them off my desk, and I dropped them down in my Copic box, and they slid right down the side, and they were lost. So I had to cut them again real quick right before the live. So that was a little bit frustrating. But we're going to color first. We're going to color this guy. I'm going to zoom in on him so you can really see him. He has his soda. He's going to be jamming on the jukebox. So I am very excited about that. I see everybody saying hello to everybody else. I'm so happy to see you all here. Thank you for joining me. As always, it's been a long day. All right, here is my glue. I need to have my glue. I need to have my tweezers because there's so many small pieces. And then we need to color this guy up. So, I didn't hear what you asked me. Do you have the jukebox die set from Scrappy Boy? Because we are going to assemble that today. So you will be able to see how to do it. I know we've had those discussions over those dies lots of times. I'm going to use E000, E00, 1113, and E04 for the skin tone for this fella here. Maybe I'll zoom him in just a little bit more so you guys can really see him. I think you do. And I think that I want to, usually he's colored in, like on the package, like a white shirt with a black jacket and black boots. But I think we're going to mix that up just a little bit tonight, so that he goes really well with the jukebox. The pieces are just thrown over here in a pile. I'm also going to make it into a card and not an album. So these are all the pieces. There are a ton of them. And then I have some solid bases, and we'll talk about how we're going to put all that together and how I decided to make it into a card. So, I think make him a pinky, like a pink jacket. I was going to go with red, but I might be able to be persuaded. Let's go ahead and get started because I do not know how long the assembly of this die is going to take. What I can say is that I did not watch a tutorial. Eek, I almost want to say shame on me, but I saved the back of the box, so the back of the package, and it kind of shows in color coordination, like, you know, how the dies are placed. So I am currently using that in order to assemble tonight. So if I mess it up, you guys can laugh with me, but I will do my best to get it right on the first go. Give him a brown jacket. I don't have any brown in the card base. Pink is a lighter shade of red. Yes, it is. That's why I said I could be persuaded. So we're going to put this E000 base coat on this guy just to get him some wet the face and get him some underpainted skin tone, peachy color, if you will. And then he only has his hands showing where he's holding his soda and the top of his hand where it's in his pocket and his neck. His boots are all covering his legs and feet, so we don't have to worry about that. So I am going to move this this light over here, so hopefully it won't shadow my hand so you guys can see. E04 is going to be our shadow area. Use your magic wand. And we're going to put the shadow area right up here around this part of his hair. Hello, Meg. And right along his face where his sideburns are. I love his little sideburns. So cute. And then I'm going to do a bit on his neck. A little bit on his hand where his belt of his jacket's covering it, and then some on this hand where it's shadowed by the drink and the underside of his fingers. It's a very small area, so you won't really have to see a whole lot of that. Paper Wizard. I can tell you that the challenging part for me in using that die was choosing the different colors. I mean, the picture shows like 5 or 6 different colors, and I was like, what color do I die cut it in? Because I haven't colored the image, I'm not really sure. And so I just rolled with it, hoping it'll all match and turn out nicely. I did not do a pre-run before the show because I took a nap. So I was really tired. Woke up super early this morning, so I took a quick nap this afternoon. Hey, Beth. I took a nap this afternoon, so I'm feeling a little bit less tired now, but so I pulled from where I put that darkest color. I'm going to do it one more time just to smooth it out a bit. And then I did a little bit around his nose, up under his chin a bit, a little bit more on his neck, and then just touched a little bit on his hands. Now I'm going to go to E11, and I only have one other color after this, so we're going to finish. Hey, we're going to do a lot with this color, and then we'll finish up with the last color. I think when we do the girl, we might put some makeup on her another night. Probably Thursday we'll work with the girl. I'm sure I can come up with something cool to do with her. I think we need a little bit of pink on his cheeks, so I'm going to stop temporarily and put some R11 just on his cheeks. I don't want them to be really rosy, but I do want a little bit underneath because, you know, he's a happy boy. So here we go. This E11. We're going to go over top of where I put that pink to kind of soften that up so it's not so obvious. Around the outside of his face, I'm just working the line right here. That's why we're going over it a couple of times. I don't want you to be able to see the lines. I want him to have nice, smooth skin. That's, to me, is very important when you're doing people. So, hey, Reagan. I mailed my ATCs that I had made. I mailed all my cards that I had that people had requested. I mailed all the packages today. So that was fun. Went to the post office, dropped them off, so they'll get to you guys super fast. And then we're going to use E00 to finish his face and the rest of his body. Again, I'm just working some of those lines for a nice smooth skin tone. I'm going to turn him a little bit, trying to hold down on the marker a bit. So I don't know if you guys know, but when you color with alcohol markers and you're trying to do very tiny places, you know, like the tiny fingers and whatever, the further down you hold on the pen, the more control you have, and the higher up you hold the pen, the thinner the line. So when I'm doing a video and you guys are watching, I have to hold back further so you can see, but that gives me less control on where the ink goes. So it's kind of a struggle getting it right. Hey, Phyllis. So it's just a little bit of a struggle. So I just wanted you guys to know that if you're watching me, you'll want to move down closer to the nib when you're coloring versus when I'm doing it or when you're watching me. Okay, I think we're definitely going to do him in blue jeans because I just think that will make it like perfectly match the background. But in the blue jeans, I'm going to throw in a different color than what I normally do because there's a light blue and dark blue in the papers that I cut. So I want to have that dark blue and the light blue. So I'm going to use B99, B97, B95, and then I'm going to throw in B52. Just going to put that lighter blue in there. Excuse me. So here we go. I'm going to do under where his buckle is hanging over his pants. I'm going to leave his belt alone. I think we'll do that black. So I'm not going to color it like his jeans. I am going to go along the side of that buckle area. And then what we're going to do is build in all of the areas where the artist drawn lines are, and then the seam inside, on the inside of his pants, I want to kind of keep that sort of dark. So I'm going to work that seam down the side. And then also, I want it, wherever this is tucked in, we'll usually have a bit of shadow as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm just doing the lines now that the artist put there, but nothing more than that. So there we go. Hey, Melissa. Hi, Darlene. Look at all of you guys popping in. I'm so glad you stopped by, Darlene. It's been a while. I hope all is well. This guy would do real good next to a motorcycle, wouldn't he? Darlene will get that for sure. So now I'm extending around the outside and along wherever I put that dark color. I'm also going to do most of the back side of those pants since all of that would be in shadow as well. And then we're going to extend from where we have the dark over here. I am adding a bit more of the dark, but that's just because we're going to add the really light blue at the end. So I'm going to leave him a little bit of highlight along this back side of his pants. So I'm going to leave that uncolored for now. And then we're going to start in his little cuffs that he has here. This color. There we go. Sorry, Sandy, got to head to bed. It was nice dropping by to see you. I'm so glad you dropped by, Meg. Thank you. Good night. So B95 is next. Look at that purple. Yeah, for sure. It's those purple nails. I love those purple nails. So I'm extending in from each area where the dark color is, leaving that one little line down there, which is where we'll work with the light color. So you can still see the line down here, so I'm going to work this line a little bit more. I'm going to go over it a second time just to kind of soften that up a little bit. And so that tells me that I'm going to have to do that second coat twice just to make sure it blends nicely. I'm also going to go along that back side of those pants and fill it in with this color. So here goes round 2, just to soften this up. I still want to grow up to color as good as you do. Oh, Darlene, thank you. Okay, here we go. This should inspire you to color again. Your little guys, they remind me of you because you guys ride motorcycles. I think this guy would go really well with the motorcycle. Okay, now I'm going to use B52. This isn't the norm that I do, but we're going to do it. Give us just a little bit lighter look. So I'm going to actually go back and forth this whole thing because it's such a lighter color. I'm going to go over all of it. I know that you can see that line right there, and I want to lighten that up a little bit, so I'm going to actually use this pen to just go up and down like this because there's a lot of colorless blender in here. So it'll kind of push the ink and leave that line down the front of his pants. So you can use these markers to work for you depending on how much of the colorless blender is in the color. And you can make them do what you want them to do. So if you kind of look here, you can see the lines on his pant legs that I built with this particular marker. So definitely use the markers to your advantage because it's really helpful. Hey Beth 1 and 2 are both here tonight, and hi Ellen. Okay, next I'm gonna move on to his boots and his shirt. I was gonna do his hair black, but I think we may have to go different than black tonight. But for the boots, I want those to be black for sure. So I'm going to go a step darker than I usually do. I usually start with 9, but tonight we're going to start with C10. We're going to go to 8, 7, and 6. And we're going to give him a black shirt, and we're going to give him a red or pink jacket. I haven't decided exactly which way, but we're also going to do his belt and his boots. So I'm going to start, and maybe we'll do his hair. Let's just see how much black, once we get the jacket done, what does it look like. So I'm going to do these soles of his boots first. I'm going to leave a small spot for some highlight. Same on this side. And then I'm going to do underneath his pant leg just a little bit and down the back. And then on this side, I'm going to do under the pant leg and just down each side just a little bit. Just like that. Hey, Tamara. I know, both bets tonight. All right, C8. So I'm going to start with his shirt because I want to give him a black shirt tonight with the C8. We're just going to do the top part for now and maybe just a teeny bit right along here where the jacket would be shadowing the shirt. And I want his belt to be black, so we're going to put a little bit in there right now. But we're not going to put too much because we need to differentiate between the shirt and the belt. So I'm going to expand from where I put this last color. I'm not going to do the highlight color at the bottom of the boot just yet. I'm going to wait for the next color. So I want it to you really to be able to notice it, and you won't be able to notice it if I use it with this color. So I hope everyone is having a good day. We just got past our storms, so I'm hoping no issues with the screen. I'm going to try to darken it just a little bit because I just noticed that it looks like it's hard for you guys to see. He has so much more skin tone on here than you can tell in the video. But okay, we're going to go all along the inside of that shirt, that jacket, so we can start getting that shirt filled in. All the way along the other side as well. A little bit above from the belt. Going to add a teeny bit to the belt, but not much. And then we're going to work on the boots. We're going to leave just a little bit for highlight. We're going to actually do the bottom of his shoe. And we're just going to leave a little bit on his boots for the next color. I think that's good. All right, we may pull one more gray to help move some color around. This is the C6, which I think we're going to finish off his shirt. So I'm going to do a little bit of this back and forth here. The difference between the 7 and the 6 is quite a bit, so you can definitely see the highlight on the front of his shirt. Going to do his belt in this light color as well. And we're going to finish off the boots. I'm also going to go along here and kind of just lighten up that sole just a little bit. This sole all along here. Kind of lighten those boots. We'll put some highlight on the boots with the white gel pen when we get done, but you can definitely see the detail in the boots right now. And I almost think that the hair might look really good in black now. It will bring that all together, I think. So I am going to go ahead and do black hair while we're at it. Oh, you like our group? Me too. You're running errands and you'll chat again when you get home. Okay, Ellen. Hi, Barbara. If I'm going to do the hair, I need to add a little bit of blue to the hair before I start. So I'm going to choose to do B21. And I'm just going to put a light coat over the area that I would put some highlight in, just so he has some blue in his hair. So hopefully you can see that really well, that skin tone and that hair, and it'll kind of give you that idea. It really does make a difference to have that in there. So the hair is not too difficult to do. You just want to make sure that you stay within the direction of the hair, you know, which way the hair would be flowing if it was a real hair. So we're going to start down here, and I gave you the artist lines to help you with which way I would be curving that hair. So it starts going this way, and then it comes this way. And then you just kind of go around here. And then I want his sideburns to stay dark, so I'm just going to fill all those in with this darkest color. This is the C10. Then I'm going to come in a little bit from the backside, wherever the artist lines are, because I put quite a few of them in there to help you guys out. And then I'm going to add a few of my own coming this way, sort of in between where the other ones are. It looks a little funny when you first get started, but it'll come together nicely when we get the other colors in that. Oh, you love my nails? Thank you. Here comes Elvis. Yep, he does look a bit like Elvis. C8. And let's do in between the lines that we did the last time. So I'm holding this marker back really far so you guys can see. So my lines are not as thin as I would like them to be. So keep that in mind. That is the reason they aren't coming out quite as thin. I'm going to turn this and maybe I'll be able to get them a little thinner from this direction and you guys still be able to see. This part of his hair right here that kind of goes this way and that way, I'm just going to make that all black at this point. It will be shadowed that way. And we'll do some from the top. And this one is too thick, so I'm going to extend just a little bit because I kind of got that thick being how I was holding the marker. Now we're going to switch to C7. The hair is way easier to do than it looks because it doesn't go in a whole bunch of different directions, so that's really helpful. Now I'm going to do kind of making sure I have everything filled in around the outside, and then I'm just going to kind of put a few strands all the way from the front to the back, leaving some highlight area for my last color. So I want to make sure I get everything around the outside of this and still leave some white areas for the highlight, which I want to be in that same area that I put the blue color when I started out. Hey Tamara, Okay, now C6 is the last one and we're going to do a little bit of a back and forth on this one. So back and forth right here, but we're going to just barely touch the paper. We don't want to put a lot of color on there. We just want to fill in the white spots. And that gives him a really nice Elvis hair. Elvis hair for sure. Elvis for the win. If you feel like you want it to be a bit darker, I do because I'm really into darker colors. I like the pop of color. So I'm going to go back in with my second marker, not the C10, but the C8. And I'm going to build in a few more of the strands of hair. So I'm just going to hold my marker upright and just put some more in there. Just a couple. And then I'm going to do it from both sides. And then I'm just going to leave it like that because the base coat's already on there and I think that will be enough to really just make it pop. So see how you can see the strands of hair just a little bit more and it really makes it stand out. So you can see it without me holding it up close to the camera now where you couldn't see it quite as well before. So I'm going to take the C6 since I already have it out and I'm going to color the little buckle because the buckle won't be the color of his shirt. I also noticed that in between the buckle should be blue because it should be shining from his jeans. So I just grabbed the B95 and filled that in. It's a very tiny detail. You probably won't notice much if you miss it. So don't worry about it. I'm going to make his button on his belt the C10 just so it stands out a little. All right, now we have to do, like, I love Pepsi, so we're going to do just a little bit of, like, just to give it the idea that he's drinking a Pepsi, even though I'm not going to do the full design of Pepsi, but I'm going to kind of split the label on his soda, and I'm going to make the bottom part blue and the top part red. And that was my B97, and now I'm going to use my B95 to finish it out. So, just so we have blue and red on there. It makes your mind go straight to, I bet that's Pepsi, So we don't really have to worry too much about figuring that out. But for the Pepsi in the bottle, we need a couple of things. The bottle's so small that I'm not going to use gray. I'm going to use BG10. Your recliner's calling your name. You'll watch tomorrow. Okay, thank you. And rest well. I'm going to put a little bit at the top of the bottle and then along the edges. Just so you can kind of see the glass resemble of the bottle. So I put a little bit of that in there. You probably can't see it too all well, but it's helpful to have it in there. Now for my soda, I'm going to use E25 and E23. So I'm going to start out with 25, and I'm going to go, but not right to the edge. I'm going to leave a little bit of that edge open so you can kind of see that it's a bottle. Because sometimes these bottles were pretty thick back in the day. So you should be able to see a bit of the glass. I'm also going to use E23 to finish it off. So I'm just going to do a little bit of this back and forth. The 25 should be darker, so you should be able to see the difference between the two. BG10 is the one we did the outside to start off with, and I'm just going to smooth all this out by going over those edges one more time with this BG color. It'll just help bring that a little bit to life. Plus, this one has a lot more colorless blenders, so it'll move some of that brown around, and you'll get a really nice looking soda bottle. Let me hold that up so you can really see it. I'll have to refocus, but I want you to be able to see how that soda looks. It really does look like a bottle that way. So we haven't finished the actual look of the red yet because I haven't pulled out the red, but I'm going to pull out the red now. I'm going to use R59, 46, 27, 24, and I'm going to pull in 43. So we can give it a little bit, it's going to look red, but we want to give it a little tinge of pink. So I'm going to start off with our R59, and I'm going to do that on the drink bottle so that it's a really strong red right along the line where that blue is. And then I'm going to add it around the edge of his, like the trim of his jacket. I want that to be this dark red, and I am just going to fill in the whole thing with this dark, dark red. But we are going to put a little bit of pink in there, but I want to start off with that. So we'll do that part first. And then we're going to go to our R27. Let's go to 27 before we go to 46. They kind of are a mix, pretty close in color, just a little bit different. I think the 27's a little bit lighter, so I think it looks better on the Pepsi. Thank you for the compliment. I'm going to do all the seam lines with this red, like wherever the shadow areas would be, and then I'm going to enhance them with the 46, and then we'll lighten from there. So as you can see, that one in there was really, really dark, and I am okay with that. I'm going to do underneath his little pocket. I'm going to do the little piece that's holding the little belt that's on his jacket. So we're not filling in everything, but we are putting a bit of the shadows in there. And I'm going to extend from the darkest part of that jacket towards the inside. It keeps that smoothness between the dark color and the lighter colors we're going to use. Hey, Callie. I love that you guys are popping in and out. So fun. Okay, now like I said, this color is pretty dark and sort of comparable to the R27. So I'm going to enhance the R27 with this color. I'm going to start building around the outside, kind of getting that color filling in. Because we are going to add a little bit of pink to it. So we want to get enough red in there that it doesn't look like a fully pink jacket. But we can make it whatever we want, because it's our image. And if you have the stamps, you can make it whatever you want as many times as you want. So you can color it different colors all the time. Sandy, your markers have your name as a brand. They all have my name on them in case I go to a retreat or a show. I want to be able to know which markers are mine. So yes, and they're color coordinated. Blue on the blue, red on the red, brown on the brown. I know, it's a lot, but you know, I'm special like that. This is R24. This starts lightening the color so we can move into the pink color that we have pulled. So I'm just kind of building it in, softening some of those edges so we get real smooth coloring on that. Oh, we should do his jacket sometime with like tears, and like he's a rough rider for sure. Okay, I'm going to flip him around, and I'm going to put it down towards the bottom. This side you can't see quite as much of him, so it won't have as much pink, but we're still going to get the pink in there. So we're going to extend here. We'll let the inside part right there be pink. I'm going to put a little bit of this color on the little belt part of his jacket, and then we're going to add the last OMG, you're too much. I know, what can I say? I just thought it would be fun to to have my colors matching the colors. So this is the R43. It's very light color, and I'm going to be doing a bit of that back and forth to kind of mesh this color together. I definitely want to keep some of the red tone because the background that we're going to build has a lot of red in it, so I want them to kind of work together. I know, my nails and my hair are always purple. My markers have the color, are color coordinated. What can I say? I'm out there. But that's what makes me fun. Filling in and working those lines to keep that like really soft look. do a bit on his arms. We still have his eyes to do. We'll probably make them blue since we already have the blue markers out. If you're watching now and you haven't been watching since the beginning, know that I always upload these to YouTube and I put the color combinations on YouTube, so you can always go back and pull the color combinations if you need them. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to put 3 colors in his eyes. I know they're tiny, but I feel like we need it. Oh, thank you, Cece. Cece says, Sandy is fabulous. Thank you. Okay, B97, we're going to start with that, and we're going to do right up close to the top of his eyes. Now, I don't want to get a lot in here, so I'm barely touching the paper. So it might take me, it might look like I'm putting a lot, but I'm really not. I'm just trying to get a little bit in there. So some of the time I'm not even touching the paper, because I don't want to overpower these eyes or go outside the lines. So maybe it'll be easy for me to hold it up so you can see like the little details of, like, you can tell that I did it just up at the top of his eyes. And then from there, what we'll do is we'll take the next lightest color, which is B52, and we're just going to extend a little bit further down with that one. This is just making them a little bit lighter. I left a little bit down at the very bottom for the last color, which is going to be that BG10, because it'll put a little bit of green in there and really make those eyes shine a bit. He'll look like he has like those awesome baby blue eyes, you know, that are so pretty. When guys have those baby blue eyes. So here, let me zoom in. Let me focus the camera so you can see them. And hopefully you can see those eyes pretty well on there. And you can see that really light color at the underside of this eye for sure. And that's what we did with the BG10. Okay, focusing again. All right, so I'm not going to do anything with his teeth. I'm not going to do the white gel pen yet because I want to build the project, and then we'll do the white gel pen last. That's the last thing that we do. So there he is in his reddish pink jacket, which is awesome. And then I'm going to zoom back out. Kind of blue eyes. Yes, kind of blue eyes. But these are the pieces that we're going to use. So again, this is the Scrappy Boy Jukebox die. It's a really big die. It's called the Juke Box mini album card die set. So you can make it as detailed or as simple as you want. It's really entirely up to you. But I have already cut all the pieces, and we're going to use this picture to build it. So hopefully I'm going to be able to eyeball that picture and make it work, because I have not built this yet. But here's what I did. So I took the die, I took the base die, and I cut it out. It's actually this piece right here. But what I did was I shifted the die over to the edge like this so that it would not cut along this edge. And then when I did that, if you put this one on top, see how it like overlaps and you can't see the edge of the jukebox? So I trimmed the card all the way around so it's just a base piece that goes behind the jukebox. So you can place this one on top, and then I made one for the back, so one for the front and one for the back, so that it'll be sandwiched in between. That way my jukebox will look like a full jukebox, but will also open like a card. So that was how I did it. I mean, you could have left it the other way, but then you lose these edges, and I really like those edges. So I decided to make the insert piece. Now, I may still have to trim. Maybe I didn't trim enough. See how you can see the line right here? It comes over the line. So we're going to need to trim just a little bit more to make this really work, because see how it fits on that side? I think I'll glue it on there, and then that way we can trim what we need to after. So I'm going to put the glue on the front. I want the whole front panel to be covered up. It's going to be, I think it'll make it a thicker card, and I want it to be thicker and be very sturdy, because I would hope the person who gets it would sit it out, and so it needs to be a little bit heavier duty. So that is why I'm layering this up. So I'm going to flip it over. I want to put, let's see, I want to move this over to the edge, right up close to this edge right here. I'm going to leave just a little hair right there, and we're going to press that down, and then we'll trim where we need to. So this is where the soda press comes in handy. We're going to press all that down. And then before we stick the back, we're going to trim anywhere we need to trim. So right here, we're going to have to trim off just a little bit along this edge right here. So I'm going to take my scissors and go along this edge right here. Now, this might be a little extra if you have the die and you don't want to do that much work, you don't have to, but I want mine to look like a card. So that cuts off the extra. It still looks fine from the inside. We're also going to put another piece over it, so from the outside you won't even be able to see the difference. So I'm going to put the glue on this back side right here. Oops, I went a little bit over, so I need to wipe that off. I don't want my card to stick shut. That would really be a bummer. I'm going to put it along the bottom and then all over the back. Looks like I'm using a lot of glue, but I'm really not. And then I'm going to match this up with the front panel. Once we have this base piece down, we'll be good. Then we just get to build the additional stuff. So now we have this one solid piece of the jukebox, and it looks like a jukebox from the front, and it looks like a jukebox from the back. Let's just make sure we don't decorate the wrong side. Then you can, oh, that's going to cause a problem there, isn't it? Okay, well, this is how we learn. So the back panel, this is going to have to come off of the back panel. So that it will open and shut. This is how we learn. If we don't know, we have to try it. And I have not built this other than right now. So this is you getting to see me figure it out. So when I open it up, it works perfectly now. So we still have our little pieces on the edge, and we still can open and shut our card. So that makes me happy, but it does mean I wanted the back to not be white. So the second die that you get, it cuts a stitch around the edge. Hopefully you can see that. It's like does a little stitching around the edge. And I cut out the gray just to do the back panel of my card. So I'm going to cut this off as well, because we know we cut that off already on the other piece. So I'm going to trim that off so it works with the back of my card. And then it decorates a little bit of the back of the card. Not that you have to, but I kind of like it. And I'm going to put my stamp on it. And then I'm going to put the glue on the card base just so I don't put glue too far. I need to refill my glue. I think I said that last night too. My glue is just running out. All right, now we're going to put this on there. Just like this. It's a little bit around, there's a little bit of a border so you can build it as you're putting it down, so keep that in mind. This is going to make the card thick, which I really like. And now we have the back side done. So for the front side, this is the same piece that goes, I just cut this one in black and the one in the back in gray. We don't have to trim any of this because the whole thing fits on the front. But I think it'll be easiest to build on the black panel and then add it when we're done. So I'm going to put this off to the side. It still opens up. Everything works. I'm going to put that to the side and we're going to build our jukebox from here. Finagle the dies to do what you need. Yes. That's the way I like to do it. Look at all these little pieces. Oh my. Oh my. Okay. So the first one that we're going to put down, and I don't know if you can see, but there's some scoring on here from when you cut it. It's kind of a guide to show you where some of the pieces are going to go. And it cut these holes. So I like that I use the black as the background. And we'll be adding this panel first. And then we'll go from there. So we're going to add this panel. And then we have to build up, so hopefully we build up in the right order, because if we don't, we could be in trouble. But we'll see. It shouldn't be too hard. It shouldn't be too hard. Hi, Sonia. Welcome, welcome. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in between these. Not that it would really make much of a difference. I think it'll be fine. But here we go. So I'm mostly paying attention to the bottom part of the card. If I can get this lined up the way that I want, the rest will just flow exactly like it's supposed to. And it did. Perfect. Okay, now we have this additional panel. It's just a decoration for the outside of the blue right here, but I think we need to hold off because I think there is another panel that needs to go down first, which is this one right here. Now I see that it sticks out further than the jukebox, but we're going to cover that up with another piece, so I think it's okay. I think I want to do this one first since it'll get covered up. Hello, Susie. Oh, Susie, you're going to love this die, I think. This is a Scrappy Boy die. And we're making a jukebox. Okay, so we have that one on there. I wonder if that's... Yep, that looks like it's in the right spot. Okay, we also need to build a few other things. So there are some panels like these. Hold on, I'll show you. So there's all these different pieces that you cut out. So there are there are actually 4 of these. So there's 2 are big and 2 are small. And so you have to have 2 of each. So there's 2 big ones and 2 small ones. And then there was also a die to cut 2 big and 2 small like this. And what these are going to do is they're going to be, you're going to layer them on top and they're going to go around the 4 corners of the die. So we need to assemble these. And it doesn't glue very well on glitter, but we're going to do it and then, oh, look at my hand shaking. Okay, we're going to put them on here first and give them a little bit of time to dry while we're working on everything else. because I want those to sit there perfectly. So I'm going to put that on there, and then I'm going to press it with my press pop because this is really helpful. I've got a small jukebox die. Oh, that's awesome. This one makes albums. It's albums or cards. So I think that's pretty cool. I could see me making an album out of this. It would be so much fun. Oh, that's the small one. This is the big one. So you can kind of lay them on top and then hold them together around the edges, and they sit perfectly on top of each other. And then I just press it with my press pop. Hopefully those will hold really well. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I don't know if you guys are big on doing small pieces of a die like this, but this is not usually my thing. I don't generally buy dies with small pieces, but I do from Scrappy Boy because historically they have turned out so nicely. So his stuff is really good, his little project dies. Plus, I love building little albums, so these are perfect for that. And they just so happen to match great with this release. Oops. Well, I don't want to glue it to my desk. So I'm going to place it on there, and then I'm going to pick them up and hold them together like this. Yours looks awesome. I don't think I can get Scrappy Boy products. They have some awesome dies. Yes, they do. We may have to set something up to do a big box to you with all the things US that you want. Okay, I can see I have a little bit of this silver sticking out, so I'm just going to trim that off. I don't know if it was me placing it a little bit off or if it just shows a little bit around the edges, but I'm kind of picky about that, so I'm going to trim just a hair off of those. This one worked out nicely. This one is off just a hair. There we go. So that worked out. Okay, so we're going to let those dry, and we're going to build another piece. So those are the four corner pieces. Then we have a bunch of this. So this is the part, the speaker part, and you can tell if you look at it, it doesn't fit entirely over this because there's another piece that you put around the outside, like this. So you won't be able to see where that silver part doesn't show because there's a border around the edge. So we're going to put that piece together next. So I'm going to put a little bit of Barely Art glue around the edge of this. The good thing is this glue dries clear and invisible, so you don't have to worry about it if you happen to go outside the lines. It's completely fine. It will dry clear and everything will be great. So you can hold this one as well around the edges and just make sure it sits perfectly on top of that speaker. I had a jukebox in my bedroom when I was a kid. It had an 8-track tape player. I'm okay with small pieces. Sonia likes small pieces. Mine is a cottage cut style. Oh, that one has small pieces too, huh? Okay. So I was slightly off up here on the top, so I'm just trimming it. It makes it easier. I'm off a little on this side. I think if it wasn't black on my desk, I can't see, and when I do videos like this, I have to turn the lights way down because it washes out all the colors that you guys see. So sometimes I'm a little bit off. And then this will go over top, and you won't be able to see. You'll see all that silver within the the piece, which I think is really neat. So I'm just going to put glue around the edges of this. I don't feel the need to do it all throughout on all those tiny little spaces on this piece. So I'm just going to put it around the edges, and then I can move it around to wherever I want it so it works with this. I may have to add more glue just because it's glitter and it doesn't like to stick. The glitter doesn't like to stick, but we'll see. I'm going to try to press it down and see if I can get it to hold. Holding pretty good. And that's a pretty cool piece. And that is actually going to go right here. So we'll be putting that down shortly. And then we have two more of these bizarre, interesting silver pieces. So like the controller, they're separate dies, but they go over top because this die cuts out all those slats and you want to be able to see between. So it gives you the chance to cut out the back piece as well to change the color. Otherwise it would be blue with everything else. So I'm going to put some glue around the edge of this one. Probably just going to do the edge and the center. I think we'll be okay with just doing that. I'm going to place it on top of the black one. Hold them together. You can use the edges to line it up. Then I'm going to press it with the soda press. This is my favorite tool in our shop because I can use it for so much stuff. And then there's another piece. Hey Mom, there's this center piece right here that I made yellow to kind of accent with this big yellow piece that I'm going to make in a horseshoe on here. It's kind of just that accent piece, but I did it in yellow because I thought maybe it would look sort of glowy if it was yellow. So I needed a couple other pieces to match that. So this one is one of them. And I can tell you a trick. When you're doing something this small, if you have a lot of glue on there or you're afraid it's too much glue, I just tap it on my hand. Kind of cleans off some of the excess glue. Allows it to stick a little faster. With the Barely Art glue, the best part about that, putting it on your hand like that, is when it dries, you can just rub it off and it's like it was never there. So it doesn't stay sticky, it doesn't give you any problems. So this is the next piece. This is another one of those control type panels for it. This one I did in red to be a little different from the other one. And I think this is the one where you choose the songs and put the money in and whatever, because there's another slot that goes on top of it. And when you see that, I think you'll know what I'm talking about. So here we go. I'm going to stick that on there. And then this is the little slot like that it would have, like you could put your money in there or whatever, so you could play whatever songs you want to listen to. Or at least that's what I think. And this guy, he's playing Hound Dog on there, you know, because he's an Elvis fan. And then I'm going to place this on there and kind of straighten it up just a little bit. I'm going to get it where I want it. Flip it over and press it. The jukebox in your bedroom sounds cool. I had a ghetto blaster. Yeah, we had an old tiny jukebox that had an 8-track player, a 45, like a record player, and a cassette player. And it was pretty cool. I think my parents still have it. I think my mom just popped on, so she can tell you if they still have it or not. Okay. So here we go. I think once we have this panel on there, the red one, we can put the blue one over top of it. So I chose light blue and dark blue so it would match up really nicely. So we're going to put this one on next. This release is so fun. I agree. I have had a really good time with it. I colored it so many times before the release came out because I just liked it so much. And I had so many ideas. The Beach Girls and the Malt Shop. They're just so much fun. I want to make sure this one gets on there lined up. I don't want any of that light blue showing. So I'm going to slide a little bit as I go to make sure I get that panel on there nicely. Looks like I missed a little bit down here. I could probably use a marker to fix that, but we're going to lift it a little bit and make sure we get it on there straight. There we go. Top and bottom. Ugh. And I missed the top again too. You can see it bubbled, so make sure. Alright, I think I got it now. So I'm going to press it really good with my tool here. Go around. I think it matched up really nicely. I think there's just a little bit down there, but not noticeable enough. Okay, now that we had made these panels already, we need to put this one together. This is the one that I said looked like a little bit glowy. There's a back piece and a front piece, so we're going to attach those. There's a lot of pieces to put together, but honestly, it's not that hard because really all I'm doing is looking at the back cover of the die set, and it kind of just tells me. You can tell it's color coordinated on the back, so you can see which color, whatever color you choose. Like I chose the blue, so everything that was in orange I cut in blue, and everything that was in pink I cut in light blue. So yeah. I'm freezing in my home. Hubby has the air on 73. He runs warm. I am tucked under a blanket. Oh, Barbara Rogers, I can relate. Both of my kids run their houses very, very cold. Like 68. I can't even. I go over there, I got to wear my jacket my husband bought me with a warmer in it. Okay. Now on here there is an emboss. I don't know if you can see it, but it's embossed right there, so you can see exactly where to put this little horseshoe piece. So no questions asked there. It's all defined out for you. So that's really great. You don't have to think about that. So there's that one. Woo! Isn't this looking so cool? Alright, there's a piece at the top. Like you can tell the jukebox like sticks out a little bit here, like there's a panel. And this one goes up there at the top, like this. It fits in there perfectly. It's kind of neat. I wonder if any of my stamps, let's look at the set real quick and see if anything will fit in that. Probably not. Yeah, no, I think they're too big. Maybe You're the Sweetest, but that doesn't really go with the theme, so I'm not going to use that. These 4 that we put together earlier, 2 are big and 2 are small. So the 2 big ones, those are going to go down here. So right here and right here. Kind of fancy up that jukebox with some glitter. So this one is going to go here. I don't even know if I'm going to put any sentiment on this one. I may save the sentiment for the inside instead of the outside, just because this is so cool all by itself. I don't know that it needs anything. Or maybe I'll do like a song, like Hound Dog or Love Me Tender or something like that. I might like make a little sign to put in that top part later. after the live is over so I can fancy it up. But look at this. Wouldn't this just be a gem if you got this from someone? It would be like fantastic. Don't turn into a popsicle, Sonia says to Barbara. Don't be popsicle. Drink hot tea, might warm you up. Okay, and this one goes up here and covers up that excess red that was sticking out on the side. They also line up really nicely right here. So there's that one. And then we got one on the other side. I really like that the silver glitter really came out nicely on this. A lot of shaking going on. There you go. 73 is hot for us. Oh my. You guys, I think, Barbara, you need to come visit me. Our house is on 77. And sometimes I'm still cold on 77. It's crazy. You'd never part with that if you received it. I know, right? It's so detailed and awesome. Okay, this one is going to go here, but before I put that in there, this piece goes on top of it, I think. Yep. So we need to assemble these two pieces first. So this one, just going to do around the top and the sides because I don't really think it's going to matter at the bottom. So we're going to place this on top of here. I'm going to hold it up so I can make sure I have it all lined up nicely. Perfect. I'm going to press that down. And then we can place this within this. But let's see, there's one more piece we need to do. This piece goes right here. Okay, perfect. It centers in there, so that's great. I love that. So we're going to go ahead and put that. Ooh, should we pop that up? I think we should pop that up. Let's pop it up. I have some extra little pieces of pop-up foam tape right here on my desk. This one almost fits perfectly. These are from a project I did the other night. Oh, look, absolutely perfect. It was meant to be. I mean, you could really dimension this up if you wanted. We have kind of settled on 73 because George would have it at 68 and I'd be mostly happy at 75. That's a good compromise, Ellen. I'm cold all the time. I told my hubby I could save money just putting that air up more, right? I know. That's what I always think too. So for me, in order to place this down correctly, the easiest thing for me is to hold it with my tweezers so I can really make sure that I'm in the right place. It looks right to me. You hold it up. Yeah, looks pretty good. Okay, there we go. I'm going to press that one down. Now when we put this one, it'll definitely be a variant between the two. I still want to be able to see that red line right there. So, and I still want the blue line around it. So I think that'll be a good spot for that one. So we're going to put some glue on this one. And then I'm going to place that one right there. And then I'm going to make sure it's centered between the two, which it looks perfect. So I'm happy for that. Look at our jukebox coming together. You loving the silver glitter? I know. I love glitter. It makes me so happy. Okay, so there were a lot of options with this part. So when this die cut out, it also cut out the outside and the inside. So you could put this and then another color inside or another color inside, but I think it's better to show more of the blue. So I decided to just use Why is my hand doing that? To just use the little outside piece. And that's a little thick right there, so I'll just wipe it on my hand a little bit. And then there's a score line, a embossed line on here to help you line this one up as well. So that is extremely helpful. Yay! And then there's another one that you can put inside here just for decoration, but I felt like that was too much plain blue, so I kept a black one to put inside so it would kind of match this. So this is very freestyle, do it your way kind of thing. There we go. So I just centered it inside of the red one, and then I saved a black piece that fits, see, because that die cuts out both pieces. So I'm going to put the black one on the inside. I just feel like it's too much blue here without it, so I wanted to add this inside here. I can use this tool to like smooth it out, make sure it's all nice and smooth. And then we didn't attach this piece yet, so I'm going to put this piece on there. Delio cards went to the post office on my errand run. Yay! Looks like an alien with a smile. I also see a microphone. Yeah, so many things. So many things. So I'm going to place this up here. I'm going to turn it upside down just so I can make sure I have it like the same width at the top. There we go. And those are all the pieces. That makes the front of the jukebox. So now we can place the front of the jukebox on the front of the card. And this will build our card. So I can tell by just setting it here that I'm going to have to do a little wiggle room. So I'm going to make sure I have a lot of glue on here so I can play around with. So I have to do it really fast, otherwise the glue starts to dry, and once it starts to dry it sticks really quickly. So let's go ahead and get it down there so we can play around with the placement of this, just so we get it about the same all the way around, because I don't want to get it off. I want it to be kind of perfection. That works out really nicely, I think. So now we have our jukebox here, and then we have our guy to put, oh my goodness, on our jukebox. So he is chilling. It must be dinner time. I'm seeing too many things on here. It has such an amazing Art Deco details. I love it. Yes, it does. It has a lot of details. A lot. Which I like, you know, because it really looks like a jukebox because it has all of the details. So once we put him on here, then we'll go in with the gel pen and add the pieces that we want. The accents we want to add. I think I want his drink to sit right below that, so I'm going to push that under there so I feel like it's looking funny right there. There we go. So I'm going to press him on there, make sure he gets stuck. Oh, he looks like he's so happy chilling there. And then I'm going to grab my white gel pen, And I'm going to put the white in his eyes so you can really see his eyes. I want to put a little bit on the soda just for the fun of it. We could put a few bubbles if we wanted to. Soda, has a few bubbles in it. We'll put a little bit of the white gel pen along his boots. That was glue I got on there. I think I'm going to put a little bit like on the top of his pocket right there, and maybe on the side of his belt just a little bit so it kind of stands out. I think I'm going to put just a teeny bit like on these, a little bit of shine on his jacket, and then I think we have him ready to go. So I'm going to hold him up so you can see all the detail. Isn't that amazing? That turned out so well, I don't even want to put a sentiment on it. Look at how awesome. I do think I could do... Oh, wait, hold a minute. I forgot that we had stickers. So these are our stickers from in the shop. So I could put the happy birthday on the inside of the card, which I think would be perfect. Oh, I didn't get the ones that are already cut. I get the prototypes all the time, so I have to cut mine out. You guys get the pre-cut ones, so it works out great for you guys. But I always get the leftover test runs, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just going to cut my little sticker out real quick because I think it's perfect for this. It's pretty easy. I just cutting around the little turquoise square. The colors worked out great. There's yellow and red and the light blue, so it's kind of perfect. It is an awesome card. Hi, Shalana. Hey, Drea. What do you think? Beautiful. I love it. So I'm going to place my little sticker on the inside that says happy birthday. So this is for sure going to be a birthday card. I already stamped the back, so that was pretty cool. And the back has a design too, just like the back of a jukebox would be, not white. And there is our amazing guy. So if you love these guys, you can get them in the Malt Shop at the store right now. We have a bundle of the full release for like $50. Is it $50? It's right around $50. It's discounted for a limited time. If you want the bundle, you get the stickers and the people and stamps and stencils and all the good stuff. If you like this die, I got it from Scrappy Boy Stamps, so you can definitely get it there. I get stuck with more fussy cutting. Yes, isn't that the truth? But this, I'm going to tell you, this die is awesome. So, look, how did I do? Pretty good. See how you can look at the back of the... So the teal, that's what I did in black. I did in silver. I just changed the colors up, but it's the same thing. It just looks amazing. I love it. I believe it is. I can look, though, real quick. I can tell you. I'm pretty sure it is. Although I think they're going to a show, so you would need to order it right away if you want it mailed before they go. I'm Googling it. Give me one sec. I can go into the search and say it's the Juke Box. Juke Box. Oh, it's not in here. I bet you it's a show special. Oh, wait, maybe I spelled it wrong. Hold on, give me 1 second. I think he spelled jukebox separately. Haha! It's currently available on the site. It's $34.99. So you can definitely you can still get it. It's still available. You can find it at,
Add a link.
can I add a link? Yeah, I can. Okay, let's see. I'm already there. So copy. Let's go back to our live. Paste. And there you go. And don't forget, I'm doing the handcrafted retreat, coloring with Olo markers. So if you want to learn about that, you can get it from, you can click on the link Drea put on there for LV Handcrafted, Olo Paper Escape Marker Summit. They still have VIP tickets available for right now. It's going to be super fun. I get to show you how to color. I'll show you the stamp set. I'm going to show you how to color this girl right here. And the other teachers are going to teach you color combinations with all the rest of these. And trust me, they're adorable. They're really, really cute. If you buy the VIP, you get the stamp set and all that stuff, and it's going to be so much fun. And it's going to be April 1st and 2nd. August 1st and 2nd. So definitely come join me. You can join for free. You won't get the stamp set, but you can definitely come for free. So click the link, join for free. If you want the VIP, do that. If not, just come for free and hang out with us. It'll be fun. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Don't forget, I upload this to YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and comment. It helps grow the channel, and we really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. If you want to craft with me even more, you can go find me over on YouTube with Crafty Ho Ho, Happy Happie, Crafty Ho Ho. Her and Ellen and I are usually live almost every night. They're live every night. I try to be there every night, but definitely go see at Crafty Ho Ho, and you can craft with us more, which is where I will be after this video. Thank you for watching. Love you guys, and I will see you on Thursday, and we will malt shake it up with her. So, see you on Thursday. Good night.